And this was the Hornets pulling into the arena. A lot of the guys dressed in their very best. Now they turn their attention toward picking up a win in enemy territory. The bright lights and tall buildings of downtown Los Angeles setting the scene for us here tonight. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for tuning into 2K Sports. We've got some NBA action for you coming up. Alongside Chris Webber and Greg Anthony, I'm Kevin Harlan, the fourth member of our crew. From the sideline, Hall of Famer David Aldridge. So let's take a look at the Charlotte starting lineup. They've got the general. P.J. Washington is out there with Miles Bridges. Then there's Victor Oladipo, and it's Bol in at the center. And for Los Angeles, LeBron James is out there with Harrell. Then it's Cody Zeller, and it's Smith, and it's George in at the two guard. Tip-off goes to Charlotte. Here's the general. Pass to Bridges. Oladipo for three. It's hauled in by LeBron. Looking at Los Angeles, they want to turn it around after the loss to the Warriors.
You know, it seemed like once it went to overtime, the confidence from both teams just really seemed to go in opposite directions. And unfortunately for them, they were on the wrong side of that equation.
Bol dishes to Bridges. Shot is good off the back rim and in. Bridges has got the opening bucket of the night here for Charlotte. And so it's Smith with it. He'll bring it up for the Los Angeles Lakers. James finds Smith. No good with the triple. About a minute played so far here in the first. And here is Bridges. Passes it to Washington. He dishes it to Bol. Zeller grabs the board. Here's Los Angeles now. George up top, guarded by Oladipo. George, no good.
0 for 3, not the start they're looking for.
Now let's go to the sideline and catch up with our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge.
Well, I got a chance to chat a little bit with Frank Vogel. He called Victor Oladipo one of the more underrated guards in the game. Coach said there's so much backcourt talent in this league, sometimes Oladipo gets lost in the shuffle. But tonight, they'll be keying their defense on him. Kevin?
Okay, David, much appreciated. They shoot again, and he didn't get quite enough under that one. For Charlotte, they've gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. The shot's good from the general.
And when Oladipo makes passes like that, his team kicks into a whole new gear offensively.
So for the Hornets, their last game, a win against the Clippers. LeBron left side, takes the three. Los Angeles with another miss. For Charlotte, they've gone 3 of 5 shooting the ball so far. Bridges against Zeller. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line. It goes on Cody Zeller.
He's an attacking player, and that means Bridges is going to get his share of time at the line. That'll never make him change his style.
And one of the things that stands out when you see Bridges, that explosive leaping ability.
But yeah, he gets off the ground quickly and makes adjustments in mid-air. There's a smoothness to his athleticism. He's still putting it all together, but there's a lot to work with.
A platoon swap here for the Lakers. And the Lakers decide to take their first time out here. Hey, Greg, you played in a different era of NBA defense. When you look at how defense is played now in the league, how do you feel about it?
You know, Kevin, I think the introduction of the zone, by and large, has been great. You get a lot more switching, and I think it brings more skill into the game. Don't get me wrong. I do miss the physicality that we had back in the 90s, but I tell you what, right now, my body wishes I had the opportunity to play in this era.
I bet it does. Here's Oladipo, finished off the break.
Yeah, and the defense has been on their back heels with the way they've been running the ball up the floor.
1:58 left to play in the first quarter. Lakers trail by 10. Augustine looking around. Lays it up off the glass.
And that ends the struggle. You could feel the tensions in the building with each miss.
Well, now that they have that monkey off their back, hopefully they can settle down and execute.
And that one off the back of the rim and in. 6 points for the General.
This is as good as it gets for a first quarter in terms of shooting the basketball.
Washington. And then Washington with the dunk.
Displaying intensity right off the opening tip, especially on the offensive end.
Yeah, they've been very aggressive, and they've taken early control of this game.
Here is Daniels. Still looking for his first bucket in this one. To the middle. And he lays it straight in.
And once he got to the 10, I think he was surprised to find himself that wide open.
Yeah, very little resistance. I mean, you had to bring much faster help than that.
Now, here's Bull. 9 points last game out. Washington, that's good. Washington's got his second bucket of the night.
Defensively, giving up far too many open rhythm looks.
Stolen by Washington. And a fast break now for the Hornets. The General passes to Bull. And there's the whistle on the shot. Took the foul. Shot misses. He'll be shooting 2. And the foul called on the Los Angeles Lakers. First trip to the free throw line for him in this one.
And like his father, Manute, Bull's combination of size and scoring is very unique. The key for him is just staying healthy.
Catching up on the changes for Los Angeles. Kaycox checked in, and it's Kent Bazemore in for Troy Daniels. Jackson misses. Here's Charlotte. They're on an 18-4 run. 3-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Bazemore on the wing. Pass to Nwaba. Back to Bazemore. The 3 buries the long-range jumper. And so it's Charlotte holding on to an 11-point cushion as we get ready to take a break. They're shooting the ball so well in this one. A great performance from the field. We'll take a quick break and then back to the action here. And if you're like me and curious about Victor Oladipo's overall philosophy, listen to this.
I think the biggest thing is just the relentlessness. No matter what's going on, no matter how hard you want to do well or if you mess up, just keep going. Just keep playing hard. Just give it your all. You can live with the results after that.
And Greg, I haven't ever heard anyone question his effort.
He came into the league as a raw athlete. Now he's a skilled assassin.
And glad to have you with us, folks. Second quarter of basketball. This game has not exactly been neck and neck, but plenty of time left in this one. And a comfortable margin for the Hornets here, guys.
What we saw in that first quarter, they won their matchups defensively.
Yeah, they really got after it. I mean, they made life extremely difficult for the shooters, which is why they hold this lead.
Montrezl Harrell is out there with Zeller. Then there's Ish Smith. And it's LeBron James. And it's George in at the 2-guard spot. That's the group for the Lakers to start the second quarter. Okay, well, let's go down to David Aldridge for a report from the sideline.
Hey, Kevin. Well, the General in his last time out against the Clippers was phenomenal. He finished with 17 points. And along with what he did on offense, he had a big defensive night as well. It's safe to say he's out of his funk after a game like that. And we'll see if he can keep it rolling tonight, Kevin.
Yeah, David, in stretches, he was absolutely dominant. Greg, he'd love to match that performance tonight.
This team needs his contributions. When he's right, he makes winning plays time and time again.
It's all about getting into a comfort zone early. When he does that, he can be very difficult to contain the rest of the way.
Lakers trail by 14. And the Lakers call time here. know how important the draft is, Greg. It can shape an organization. Talk about some of the best draft day deals of the last couple decades. There have been a lot of them.
Oh, there have been a few. I mean, just coming to mind here recently, how about when Kawhi was traded to the Spurs? That was a huge get. Go back
George
to how
Hill.
about Kobe going to the Lakers, McHale and Parrish coming to the Celtics. I mean, we've seen that happen quite a bit, and I tell you what, boy, it can really transform a franchise's future.
Catching up on the changes for Los Angeles, David Nwaba is checked in for Montrezl Harrell. Jake Layman comes in for LeBron. Jakar Sampson's checked in for George. And DJ Augustine subbed in for Smith.
Well, P.J. Washington defines what it means to be a modern big. I mean, the hybrid label has been turned into a positive.
Jackson, he's checked in for Los Angeles. Here's Augustine bringing it up now for the Los Angeles Lakers. 15-point game. Score of the basket is third after 5 shots.
Oh, the movement off the ball is good. I mean, and the pass to hit him in stride is even better.
Rozier kicks to Bogdanovich. And there's the pass to Washington. Aldridge with it. Rozier finds Aldridge. And the dunk by Aldridge.
Oh, I like the floor awareness on display from Rozier. Awesome job finding the open team.
Pass to Augustine. Fires from deep. Los Angeles keeps it going. A new 14-second shot clock.
Oh, how about the deft touch right there, guys?
He just guided that ball back up and in. Just a fingertip touch on the ball. Now, here's Bogdanovich. He's coming off a 10-point game against the Clippers in Los Angeles.
And it was the little things, too. I mean, getting to the line, finding ways to get his points any way possible.
And stolen by Aldridge. And a fast break now for the Hornets. Here's the General. And a great assist by Aldridge as that one goes in. The General's got 10 points.
Just another way Aldridge beats you. As a facilitator, very comfortable making decisions.
Passes it to Sampson. Rozier against Augustine. Shot clock at 6. This one for 3.
Oh, great instincts there from Washington, reading the situation and rising up despite it.
And this is why coaches talk about playing with pace. The scoreboard tells it all.
Yeah, because it's so hard to prevent transition scores. Whenever you get an opportunity to get out and run, you take it.
Closing in on 4 minutes played here in the second quarter. Lakers trail by 17. Now Jackson. He's been patient so far. Nothing on the scoreboard yet. From deep. They get the rebound.
I love his work ethic, not to mention his hands. You need both to convert those tip-ins.
Hornets leading by 15. Outside Bogdanovich. Now the pass to the General. Launches it. Yes, once again, it remains perfect. 6 attempts and 6 hits.
And he has his fingerprints all over this first half. He is just shooting it so efficiently.
Los Angeles has got nothing but zeros from long range in the second quarter. 0 of 4. Here's Augustine. The Hornets pull it in. Washington's got his 5th rebound in this one.
His field goal percentage has dipped this quarter. I mean, his movement has to be better. He has to find the open spots on the floor.
And what an alley-oop. Those two read each other so well.
It's a play I'm sure they love to run. There's 31 seconds left in the first half. Lakers trail by 20. They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
Lets a floater go.
I'd love to see them impose themselves a little more on the backboard. That's a great way to find confidence. Always a surefire way to get back in the game.
The General passes to Washington. Rozier for 3. No good that time. And through the first half, a pretty lopsided affair. It's Charlotte as they end the second quarter with a tremendous 17-6 run. And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thanks. Coach, what's stopped you from getting what you want?
Well, they're just a great defensive team. You know, we're not handling our pressure well enough. We're trying to work it inside. They're fronting, and we got to execute our counters.
Yeah, all 5 guys have to get involved. Thanks very much, Coach. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks for the great interview, David. And we'll be back for the third quarter of basketball following halftime. And as we dive into the second half, we'll find out if the next 2 quarters are any different from the first 2. So far, it has been a runaway. And you know the General has been really making it happen, guys.
No problems fighting his way to the rim in this one. A lot of points in close.
Yeah, slicing through the gaps in the defense. I mean, getting many of his buckets in the paint.
Here's who James Borrego is starting the second half with. Washington out there with Bridges. Then there's Oladipo. Then there's Bull. And it's the General in at the point guard position. Kept alive, Harrell. And Harrell slams it in.
The dogged intensity Harrell has is just insane. And he uses all this energy to his advantage, particularly on the glass.
Well, you know, teams look for +6s, players whose wingspans exceed their height by a half foot. Montrezl Harrell is a 6'7" player with a 7'4" wingspan. If you're struggling with the math, ladies and gentlemen, that's a +9.
Shot by Zeller, no good.
Man, when the ball's in his hands, that's as high percentage as it gets. It's just a fluke miss.
Bridges passes to Bull. And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line. And between his length and his athleticism, Montrezl Harrell well suited for that role of small ball center, Greg, in today's NBA.
Yeah, I mean, he's fearless. Even giving up a few pounds, a few inches, he'll go right at you and making steady improvements as a rebounder year over year.
And guys, he's not an easy man to stop when he's got the rim in his sights.
Never has been, never will be. He is a determined finisher. Lakers trailed by 18. Smith drives in. Nice D from Oladipo.
Oof, this has been brutal. I mean, he still hasn't made a single shot. No wonder they're struggling.
He has created some terrific opportunities for himself and really made the most of them.
And the Lakers call time here. Greg, did you know when you were playing that you'd eventually want to call games, be in the broadcast table?
Kevin, no idea. I didn't have any clue. And
There's 57 seconds left in the third quarter of the game. It's blocked.
I love Rozier putting that much effort into his team. Let's see more of the same in every possession.
Some changes for the Lakers. Kaycox checked in, and it's Kent Bazemore in for George. The Hornets also with a sub. Washington's checked in. Bazemore on the wing. Clock at 6.
It's a +5 advantage for them in rebounding after that one.
It's Bogdanovich on the wing. They get it back. Washington, that's good. Washington's got 12 points in the game.
And of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is just smash mouth physical basketball, guys.
About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Will it go? Shot by Zeller, no good.
I love to see the defense exhibit some passion in protecting the rim right there.
Feeds to Aldridge. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul.
terrific at just being aggressive. Aldridge excels at putting pressure on the D and getting the call.
And so LaMarcus Aldridge nails them both. Now here's Bazemore, and the shot goes in. Bazemore's got his second basket of the game.
he'll take advantage of that kind of soft defense every time. Just give him a chance to attack the basket, and he will.
And so it's the Charlotte Hornets, leading by a full 31 points at the end of the quarter. Their defensive mindset clearly focused on clamping down on LeBron James, and their game plan is working. Right back after this break. Now let's take a look at our assist of the game presented by State Farm.
And he may not be known as a pass-first guy playing out of the two-guard spot, but he shows here that he can dole out an assist or two when he needs to.
Yeah, no need for hero ball there. I mean, you just need to make the right basketball play. Outstanding dish that time.
And 1 quarter to go in a game that to this point has not been an evenly fought contest. They've got Lehman. He's out there with Kent Bazemore. And it's Kaycock in at the 5. That's who's in the game for the Lakers. And so it's Jackson who brings it up for the Lakers. Bazemore on the wing. He kicks it to Daniels. His three-pointers off the mark.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead.
Here's the General. He's covered by Daniels. No good from the General. Lakers shooting a pretty sorry 29% from the floor here. Bazemore with it. Picked up by Aldridge. Bazemore passes to Jackson. A lot of talk about reseeding in the playoffs when you got down to the final 4 teams. If it ensures the 2 best teams make the finals, it would seem to me, Greg, to be worth it. What about you?
You know, it could be. I think about the worldwide attention on that championship round, but you got to get the Eastern Conference teams to sign off on that. And, you know, we've seen it happen in the past where the power shifts from one conference to the other. But ultimately, nothing better than seeing the 2 best teams play for it all.
On the wing, Jackson. Pass to Bazemore. Just 5 to shoot. Right at the free throw line. And again, the Lakers no good.
That's a nice defensive effort. Sticking right up on him. I mean, affecting the shot.
Charlotte no good that time either.
And he's been way off the mark this quarter. It's been ugly.
With the teardrop, but they'll get another chance.
Well, I tell you what, he earned his money on that foul.
First one falls.
Percy. Shooting 1.
One shot.
And Kersey no good on that one. And so it's the Hornets taking care of business in this one. A resounding victory for them. And Greg in enemy territory, no less.
Hey, that's exactly right. But with the way they controlled the game and just completely took the crowd out of it, that's how to get it done on the road.
And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For Chris Webber, Greg Anthony, and David Olden, this is Kevin Harlan. Thank you for being with us. See you later.